Man, what a mess. What a mess. I'm sitting here. I had a pretty big weekend and just kind of want to talk about it a little bit. Let me see if I can. So, I decided to do kind of a little experiment maybe. I went to Sandusky, Ohio for the weekend and I didn't get a hotel. I just kind of walked around the city and sort of camped out. Not really like a stealth camp, but uh, I was outside nonetheless. Uh, it was different. So, so, and mainly what I saw that was different about it was interacted a lot with the homeless people in the city. Uh, that was interesting. I remember in my old job, I would run into homeless people all the time. I talked to them. I would do things. I would hand out, socks and stuff, and sometimes I buy them lunch or eat with them. I did that quite a lot. Kind of annoyed the people I worked with, but so I have a really special place for homeless people. My brother was homeless, so you know I feel connected in a way to them. Uh, there used to be, maybe it was just because of the weather, but there used to be a lot more homeless people in Sandusky, and maybe you just don't see them anymore. Maybe that's what it was, or I don't know what happened to them, but I didn't, it wasn't as many as I previously would see. Like they would be on like every park bench, But the weather was really bad. There was a lot of storms. I took the um, Go Bus, which is Ohio kind of bus service. I think it's kind of ran through community action in a roundabout way, but they have 4 or 5 different routes throughout the state, and it's a lot cheaper than say Greyhound or whatever. And I think the service is actually kind of better too. So there's that. Uh, took the bus up there in the morning, kind of walked around, talked to people. I ate lunch at Kroger's. That was pretty good. Um, like I said, I didn't see the homeless people like usually were there. There were quite a few, but one of the thoughts that kind of popped into my head was just how sort of invisible the system, the institutions sort of make homeless people sort of invisible in a way. Uh, and it's kind of concerning because I mean, the weather doesn't care whether you have a house or not, right? And if it's storming out, we were out in the storm, and I've seen them out in the snow, like under a blanket, a snow covered blanket. Um, at some point, it just, man, I don't know. I don't know what to think about all that because part of me is like, well, It was their bad choices and their bad habits that got them there. And then the other way, it's like so many hundreds of thousands of people in America now are um, homeless and sleeping in their cars and even worse. And they can't all just be really poor decision makers. At some point, the world just sort of swallows them up. A lot of them. I can't really say that a mother and her kids sleeping in their car is like uh, a string of bad decisions. I mean, shitty things happen sometimes. You get laid off or whatever. I don't know. Uh, but I think that we might have failed them in certain ways that were preventable. Like we even sort of failed ourselves in the same way. And I'll give a couple examples. One was the lack of public restrooms around. When I was growing up, at the city parks and stuff, and even here in my hometown, like, there are restrooms, but they're just never open, and it's like for obvious reasons. It's because these teenagers act like animals now, for the most part, and they'll go in there and they'll break up the toilets, break the sinks, and have thousands of dollars worth of water damage and all this stuff, and it's probably easier just to keep them shut, you know, than to hold the kids or hold the parents sort of responsible. Um, but that leaves us in a strange place because one of the things that I had said was that sign of a functioning society is access to public restrooms, and we don't really have that anymore. Gas stations and things are pretty nice about it, and McDonald's and Wendy's and all that, but um, it really shouldn't be their burden. I don't think. I mean, if we pay taxes, and I guess one of the questions that I would ask is how can we pay so much money, for all this, surveillance technologies and fog cameras and armored vehicles and uh, you know, all this high tech weaponry and shit, and we can't even have an open public toilet, you know. It's just, and along those same lines, another example is public drinking fountains. Now, when I was walking around Sandusky, I did see one working public drinking fountain, and we do have several here in the city. A lot. Some of them are sort of ran down and not working, but for the most part, you can see where the city had at least installed these around, and I do use them when I walk. I walk a lot. I walk maybe 5 to 10 miles a day, and I'll often bring a water bottle. You can fill your water bottles up and all this kind of stuff, and that's really and again, the sign of a functioning society is access to water. you know, access to clean and water. We shouldn't. I don't think we should be paying for water at all. I think they should have stopped that when they first came out with bottled water. But um, I digress. People will pay, for certain things. So why not? If there's a market for it, why not? I did make a list. Hold on. I think probably. All right, I did no restroom. Yeah, going back to no restrooms. um, the city of San Francisco comes to mind. You know, um, and how their homeless and addicted population just sort of just goes wherever they feel like going. It's more like India than America. And that brings me to another point, which is our homeless veteran population is still there. We have so many thousands of homeless veterans. I had this friend who was homeless around town here locally named Scott, and he would tell me stories about how he was in the Air Force during the Vietnam era, but he was stationed in Guam, and his job was to repair the B-52s as they come in. Like they would come in, sometimes shot up or have some maintenance issues or whatever, and he would do like this rapid maintenance on there, get them reloaded, all that stuff, and back up in the air. Like that was his job. And he lived and he slept on the floor at the post office for a while. And this dude wasn't no like dummy. I don't know what his issue was. I don't know if it was addiction or whatever. Like he did not want to stay in the in any of the local shelters because he didn't like how they like treated him or whatever. That was kind of what he said, but I think that it was more he might have had like some sort of addiction, maybe. But he slept on the floor of the post office, but he had a job. And, he would go work at McDonald's. He ended up quitting McDonald's because that place is so poorly managed. And I know that. My daughter used to work there, and they really mistreated him. Like they would make him do like this humiliating, demeaning shit, and he just sort of quit. It wasn't worth the money to him. He was just kind of working just for something to do, and he ended up moving. He ended up moving out of town. There's so many homeless veterans. We should not. We should not be giving all this foreign aid to all these other countries and stuff when we have a homeless population like this and a homeless veteran population like this. We should not be giving money to countries so that they can have free health care and free schooling, um, and they don't even have to fight their own wars when we have homeless veterans like sleeping on the post office floor. That's just kind of shitty. Speaking of that, I'm gonna try to bring up this video real quick. Let me see if I can do that. It's about water, okay, and it kind of struck me, and I'm gonna comment on the video if I can do it. Um, just bear with me 1 second here.
Wait, why would Iran cyber attack Minnesota's water infrastructure? Why would Iran even care about Minnesota's water infrastructure? That doesn't make any sense, right? You're right, that doesn't make any sense. But do you know who does care about Minnesota's water infrastructure? Unfortunately, the answer is Israel. Meet Waterfall Security Solutions. Waterfall is an Israeli tech company, and it's contracted with St. Paul, Minnesota to protect the city's water system. Waterfall is stacked with Zionists who have literally held leading positions in the Israeli military, which is now helping the United States bomb Iranian schools, hospitals, and yes, water infrastructure. And Waterfall's founder has boasted of doing offensive cybersecurity, aka cyber attacks, for the Israeli military. Activists with
So if you guys were able to hear or not, hopefully I got the sound right. God knows I've been trying for the last 2 fucking days to figure out how to play videos on Streamlabs, and I just wish I'm not as good at computers as people think I am. But anyway, this lady's talking about an Israeli company called Waterfall Security that had contracts with several municipalities throughout the country: Georgia, Minnesota, Wisconsin, I think Detroit, and many of these. Oh, and something called the Department of Reclamation, it is the authority that controls water like west of the Mississippi. And what happened? Well, what Waterfall Security is, it's a it's a tech company that provides what they call software diode services to water companies, municipal water companies. And what they say that is it allows information to come out of their systems, out of their servers, so that they can be remotely monitored, but it does not allow any type of information to go into those systems in order to say prevent hacking. They call that a software diode. A diode is a kind of a special kind of component that's used in circuits that only allows current to flow one way. Right, that's what a diode is, and that's what and they have special diodes called light emitting diodes, LEDs, and that it's just a component that allows current to flow one way. And in an LED, it also makes that material, the material that it's made out of, glow certain colors. Anyway, that doesn't have anything to do with the company. Waterfall Security, and I wonder how many companies, these companies that contracted, these water facilities that contracted with Waterfall Security, they got hacked, and many of them had shut down, had to turn off their water because it's a lot of cities. It's like kind of automatic that it'll detect certain levels, and it'll put certain chemicals in the water, or filter certain things, and the hacking threw that kind of stuff off, and they had to shut down the water to several. This happened about a week and a half ago. Coincidentally, in a lot of these places that got hacked, they either um, declined to contract with them, or the contract was just about to expire or just expired. Go figure. And the official narrative is that Iran somehow, they hate Minnesota so much that they would jack with the water. It all seems sort of fishy to me. But I think this video might have worked. I have no viewers though. That kind of sucks. But I'll try to play another video, or maybe I'll play the rest of this. Hold on.
And Vets for Peace began pressuring the city of St. Paul to cut the contract with this Israeli company last year, just weeks after the start of our campaign.
I seriously
St. Paul
hope you guys
suffered a
can hear
cyber
this.
attack. St. Paul officials would later use that attack as a convenient excuse to extend the waterfall contract for another 5 years. And this month, just weeks after St. Paul extended the waterfall contract, Minnesota's water system receives another huge cyber attack. Interesting. But what is the lesson here? We at Women Against Military Madness think it's very clear. Israel does not keep us safe. Israel is not protecting anyone. It is murdering babies, stealing land, and generating worldwide violence and chaos that threatens us all. And if you're in St. Paul and you're outraged about your city's complicity with Zionism and apartheid, please stay tuned to WHAM socials as we announce our next steps towards getting the city of St. Paul to cut all ties with the genocidal state of Israel. Free Palestine.
I love how these like old blue haired ladies, man, they love to fight the system, you know. But I think I'm starting to get the hang of this. I think if I mute my microphone, it'll make the sound better. I hate that I look so dumb in this, but I don't know anything about recording. Let me see here. Should I turn on the light? Let me see. I'm gonna turn on the light. Hold on 1 second. Okay. I got some more tickies. I got some more tickies to play. Hold on. Let me see what I can do.
One time this man came up to me at the bar and he hit on me and I was like, thanks, but no. And he got so offended. He was so offended. He's like, yeah, but I was just trying to be nice anyways. You're ugly. I would literally never, ever get with you, honestly. I just thought it would be funny if you said yeah and then I was going to turn you down. And then I just started laughing in his face. I was like, like I literally just, I couldn't help it. I couldn't help it. That was the funniest thing. Because people always talk about it. And it was so freaking funny. And I was just laughing so hysterically in his face. And people were watching. And the bartender heard him and was watching. So the bartender started laughing at him. And he was so mad that he walked out on his tab and he forgot his credit card. Men are so weak, so simple, so. I think about that sometimes. I wonder where he is. I don't know. I do think it's funny though because I'm a lesbian and I hit on girls all the time, and that's the last thing I ever say. Is, oh, I actually don't want you. I go, oh, makes sense, because you're hot. I want you.
Okay. So it cracks me up how some people enjoy like humiliating people on the internet or trying to humiliate people on the internet. A guy came up to this lady and like tried to talk to her, and I don't know, he said something stupid evidently, but she made a whole show of it. She's not hot, by the way, and I don't like the nose ring. Um, I'm gonna try to do another one. Okay, I'm gonna mute my microphone.
I'm gonna get a little bit vulnerable on here, so maybe somebody can relate to this. Lately, I've just really been struggling with seeing everybody in my life get chosen. Every single one of my friends is either married or engaged or something like that. Like, every single person I know in my life has someone. There's never been a single point in my life where I have been someone's number one person. Like, I'm always like the second best friend, or I'm the best friend that's behind the spouse. It's so hard to see everybody around me have that. I don't get attention from guys. I've never had a guy come up to me. Like, guys don't give me attention. That's not saying that I'm like craving male validation, because that's a whole nother thing, but like, men don't come up to me. I don't get attention from them. My whole life, I've like longed to have my person, you know? I just so badly want love. I've only been in one relationship my entire life, and that relationship, he literally cheated on me and lied the entire relationship. So even in my relationship that I had, I was never the first person. I was never the number one. How do you cope with that? Because I'm just really struggling right now. I think I've had a lot of alone time to kind of think about everything.
All right, I screwed that up, but I didn't unmute myself. Anyway, there is no way that this chick isn't getting talking to. What I had said when my mic was muted was that, oh, she's probably like about a 5'6". A woman like her on the dating apps will get dozens of likes per week. Like so many, so there's so like your average 5 or 6 on a dating app, they literally have to go through every day, and they say that, oh, I had to go through and clear my likes. Like they literally go through their whole they get a whole list of of guys that like them, and they go through and nope, not this one, not this one, not this one, not this one, not that. They say no to all these guys every. So that's what she's getting. Those guys, they don't count, right? Amongst these women. She's getting talked to, but just not by the right guys. That's what I was trying to say, but my mic was muted. All right.
Everything, and I just live in my head. I live through daydreams, because to me it's so hard to sit in silence and realize that I'm alone. I'm not alone, but I'm lonely, if that makes sense, you know? It just seems like it's so easy for everybody else around me. It's so easy for people to find relationships. It's so easy for people to get attention from the gender that they want attention from. Like, it's so.
So if you caught that, what she's trying to say is that on average, it is so easy for people to get into relationships and to meet people, but there's something special about her that makes it so nobody ever wants to talk to her. That's total BS. She's just making this up. It's just not true. It's not the right people or not the right person is talking to her, and maybe she's trying to sort of signal publicly that she wants to get talked to by a certain person.
Easy for everybody else. I feel stupid crying on TikTok right now, but I know that there's other girls out there, and maybe some guys too, who understand what this feels like and can kind of relate to it. It's just getting to a point where.
All right, so she mentioned maybe there's other guys who sort of feel that way. So the average guy, I don't consider myself the average guy. I consider myself like a maybe 3 or 4 right now. I have lost 20 pounds. I'm working on it, but I don't consider myself at a place yet where I can say that I'm above average. Anyway, the average person, the average guy that's a 5 or whatever, only gets like 6 or 8 matches per year on average. They've done studies. Women don't realize that they don't have the same experience in dating as men do. Men have to get used to being alone, like as a default. Women choose to be alone. All right, I'm gonna finish this.
I'm 26. My whole childhood, I thought that I'd be like married by now and have kids and have a family, because all I want is a family, you know? I want someone who sees me, like truly sees me and picks me every single time. I have these standards, but I can't even apply these standards to anybody because nobody gives me that attention. What do you even do at this point? Like, are there other people out there who feel like this? Like, how are you coping with this? Because clearly I'm not doing a very good job at coping with this. I'm gonna get a little bit vulnerable.
She said something wild at the end. She said that she has standards, but nobody can see their standards because they're not talking to her. She's talking about the nines and the eights and the tens. They're not talking to her, so they can't see that she has such high standards. She can't even turn them down because they won't talk to her. That is literally what she just said. All right, let's try to get the different one. I'll mute.
I'm married as well.
To
a woman.
Okay. How long you been married for?
I just got married March 21st of this year.
So about 3 months ago. Okay. And how long were you dating your now wife before you got married?
We actually met January 10th, 11th.
Of this year?
Yeah.
You married her after 2 months.
Which is the most like lesbian shit to do.
Are you legally married? Did you have a ceremony or?
Yeah, we actually got married in Vegas in the white little chapel.
You are indeed legally married.
Yes.
Why?
I got married because I met my wife. Her name's Essence, and she's honestly one of the most like loving, very respectful, smart women ever. And I married her, and I love her, and
most loving, respectful, smart woman. She doesn't know her. She knew her for 2 months. She knew her for two. That reminds me of a joke. What do lesbians bring on the second date? A moving truck. Oh shit! But it's true, man. Good for her. I mean, she got married. Good for her. They went to Vegas and got married. I hope it lasts. I hope they don't, get married and go through IVF and have these kids and shit, and then just split up. And I hope it all works out. Anyhow, mute.
we're amazing together. And
Who proposed?
she did.
Is she black?
Yes, she's black.
You know, there's different kinds of gays. There's different kinds of lesbians. There's like the twinks and the bears and all that shit.
Yeah.
With the lesbians, you got the kind of the butch.
Yeah.
And then the femme. I don't know all the categorizations. So what is she? Is she?
She's STEM. She's like half stud, half like
what
feminine.
is STEM? What's
Which
that?
is,
I don't know what that is.
Half,
what is that?
Stud and half feminine.
Oh, stud. Okay.
Yeah, you know.
So the stud is like they're a bit more manly. Is that?
I don't understand any of this stuff to even talk about it, man. The idea of studs like cracks me up, though. I'm sorry. I was gonna leave this one alone. Hold on, I started another one.
I'm on a first date. My date is 20 minutes late. That's not a problem. He paid for this wine glass. He doesn't know that he paid for it yet, but he did. We had plans to meet at 6. He messaged me on Hinge saying ETA is 6:20. Whatever. At that point, I called Rachel. She said, just go. Fine, I'm here. I texted him and I said, all right, well, I'm here. Because it's 6:02, and of course I'm here. He messages back and says, sorry, my Waymo's taking forever. So at least we got an apology at that point. My server, she's so cute. She gives me this glass of wine, and I tell her I'm on a first date, and she's like, oh, he's late. And I said, he is late. She's like, how late is he going to be? I said, he's going to be here 20 minutes late. She said, 20 minutes? I said, I know, girl. I know. So anyway, I order this drink. She comes around, and I go, by the way, I'm not paying for this. This is all going to be on him. And she said, obviously, you're not paying for that. For now, I sit outside. It's a beautiful day. Glass of wine is a French white. If you're gonna be late, my man would be so apologetic about it. Like, I'm so sorry that I'm late. And then he would be like, order whatever you want. Obviously, it's all on me. Please get all the appetizers and all the drinks that you want. My bad for being late. Like, that's what my man would say. And all this man said was, sorry, my Waymo's taking forever. So, not looking great that he's my man. One drink. Well, I guess 2, because by the time he gets here, I'll probably have another one. If he's not 6 feet like he says, it's... Ooh, you're not gonna be a tardy and lie to me about your height.
So Chad is standing her up. She matched with a 6 foot tall guy on Hinge, who probably does have options. He is probably one in the upper third and does have options and he decided, you know what, I'm gonna go out with this one instead of that one. And the way she talks, and I can kind of see why she probably annoyed him.
Ladies, this is what it's like dating in 2026 and why you should stay indoors and never leave your house. Let's go. So now this is the man, this is the woman. I'm playing both characters, I'm very diverse like that. Alright? Contact rosie.terry@outlook.com for acting gigs. Alright? I'll give you a special prize, alright? As long as I'm the lead role. Okay, let's go. Okay, this is the loser man. Let's go. Setting the scene, we're at a bar. 2026 dating. Stay indoors, lock those doors tight. Bolt them. Alright, let's go. Okay, this is the loser man at a bar. Alright. Hey, you're looking sexy. Hey, I'm not interested. Can you leave me alone? Why are you so miserable? What's wrong? I'm just trying to enjoy my night with my girls. Like, I'm not interested. Can you leave me alone? What's wrong with you?
Okay, she's annoying. I'm not gonna play the whole thing, but the whole purpose of Girls Night Out is to try to snag Chad, and to humiliate guys who approach them in bars and in public settings. Like it's sort of they call it bullying, right? Uh, yeah, she's annoying. I'm not gonna play the rest of this.
Okay, let me make this easy for you so that way you don't have to worry about it in the future, so that way you know my intentions. Since you're down in North Carolina, I would highly advise you to go out and find your knight in shining armor, go out and find your husband or your forever after, because I know that's not going to be me. And over here, on this side of town, in my world, it's just going to be strictly casual. Just strictly fun and casual, because I'm not looking to be in no relationship or monogamous situation with just one woman. So that's my intentions. And just understand that you are definitely.
All right, there's a couple things in this. Hey, at least he's upfront about it. A lot of times, now, what they'll ask you, like when I match with a chick, she'll ask me like straight off, like in the first couple texts, like, "What are your intentions?" or "What are you looking for?" is what they'll say. You know, they don't want to know who you are. They want to know what bucket to put you into. Um, if you let let it be known up ahead that you are seeking a long-term relationship or you are seeking marriage, they'll put you in a certain bucket and try to, uh, like a washcloth, like wring out like whatever they can get out of you. Um, the last person who did this to me is this chick in Michigan, and she asked me what my intentions are, and I told her basically that I was looking for something like serious, like, and it was probably a week or two later, but she texted me asking me to cash out her money. You know, I'll tell that whole story some other time. But yeah, that's how they are. So this dude's just letting her know up front, like, hey, look, this ain't about that. If you want to get some simp, go ahead and go get them. But I'm not that guy. Whatever. So at least he let her know up front, and he probably saved himself a lot of heartache because you can tell by the attitude on her face that she does not respect this man at all. And the fact that she posted the conversation on uh, TikTok.
Not the only one, and I don't expect to be the only one because you had a life way before you met me, and I damn sure had a life way before I met you. So it's gonna be unrealistic for me to think that I'm the only one that you're entertaining. I really don't give a shit who you're entertaining outside of me. The only thing I care about is me and you got going on. That's it. That's the only thing that matters.
No, she earned it, and you can tell by the look on her face that she don't care. She don't care. She has so many other people, on her DMs and her Instagram and all, or her TikTok for that matter. She don't care. But I digress. All right, I'll try to play one more. Then I'll try to play a game of chess real quick and see if I can make that work.
I cannot be the only person that wants to leave men in their loneliness epidemic, because tell me why I have 3 dating apps on my phone. And it always ends up being some form of like, we move off the app and they like everything that I post and all of my stories and tell me how pretty I am, but like never actually initiate plans. Or if they do initiate plans, they haven't actually made a plan. And also they don't come up the door, and also they don't open the car door, and also there's never any flowers involved. Like, I'm sorry, but I don't want to coach anybody out of that, and I would rather be single, and I'd rather let them be so lonely that they eventually have to atone for them.
Yeah, so when she's saying this stuff, she's talking about Chad doing all these things. She wants Chad to simp for her, and because these 7, 8s, 9s, 10s are not, um, they're not checking for her like that. She's upset, and there's no such thing as a men's loneliness epidemic. It's not. Um, any man that's lonely has a spiritual problem. It's not because they don't have a woman. So there's that. I said it. I said it. Um, let me see here. Should I put on chess? Nah, you know what? I'll skip it. I think I had a pretty good stream. Hopefully, the sound came through. If so, then I'll be fucking thrilled, and I'm gonna start doing this every day, and I'll get better and better at it. But if not, then I'll just have to keep working on it. It's not that big of a deal. But yeah, so I talked about my trip. If you guys liked anything about what I said in any of this, please give a like and please share. And I need 50 subscribers to go live from my phone. Did you know that on YouTube you need like 50 subscribers to use live on your phone? And I don't have that, so please subscribe to, you know, so that way I can start really doing what I want to do. All right, thank you.